Hey guys, it is Mike with Come the Night. Welcome back to another reaction video. Today, I am going to be going through the true list of the top 50 pop artists of all time. Yes, apparently Billboard has two lists, one of which is the most confusing thing I've ever seen. I'm going to address that in just one second, but first, I want to talk about today's sponsor, Guitario. If this is the first time you're hearing about Guitario, I'm amazed you somehow missed my Guitario ads. Also, they are a community favorite, so go check those out. Guitario is the online guitar lesson platform. They have lessons in chords, scales, and multiple genres, different styles. They are having a heck of a sale up until the end of September where you pay $97 for a yearly membership or $19 a month. Seriously, with the number of lessons that are on there and the quality of the lessons and the fact that you get feedback from instructors, that's huge. Go ahead and follow the link in the description today and get a hold of your membership. I honestly don't know of any other online lesson platform that you're going to get this quality for this price, so you should really take advantage of it. Up until the end of September. Back to the video. So the previous video I did was greatest of all time songs artists or pop songs artists or something. It was really confusing, like honestly. I actually emailed Billboard to try and find out what the criteria was for that list. Obviously no response back. What a fucking shock. If they can't even put together a fucking coherent list, how do I expect that they're gonna answer an email? I have now found the top 100, but we're just gonna do 50, pop artists of all time. This list makes a hell of a lot more sense than the original list I had looked at, and I will be giving you my feedback from the perspective of a metalhead. Well, really a prog head. Again, if this is your first time here, I'm really into progressive rock and progressive metal, but trying to explain that means you're not gonna click on the video, so for this instance, I'm a metalhead. Number 1, the Beatles. I absolutely agree with putting them at number 1. They revolutionized rock and roll not once, but twice. They have an entire album's worth of number 1 hits. Number 2, Madonna. She had a huge impact on the industry. There is no Lady Gaga without Madonna. She has a great voice, repulses me as a person. Number 3, Elton John. I did not expect him to be at number 3. Honestly, I think Billy Joel has more hits and better hits, but that's my opinion. I could be wrong, and if I am, please provide me some documentation. I would be interested to know. He is great though. He is great. I do like his work. Number 4, Elvis Presley. I dislike most Elvis songs. I'm not really a fan of his style or of his writing. I understand why he's on this list, and as a matter of fact, I would have given him possibly the number 2 or number 3 spot just because he's that influential. Number 5, Mariah Carey. I've already talked about her in the last video. There'll be a link to that in the description. I have no idea why the fuck she's on number 5. That's dog shit. Number 6, Stevie Wonder. Awesome songwriter, unique voice. I believe his blindness actually gave him an advantage. More sensitive to sound and feel. Number 7, Janet Jackson. Seriously? What the fuck is she doing on this list at number 7? Number 8, Michael Jackson. Number 8? Below Janet Jackson. The fact that he's immediately below her I think is more of a smack in the face than anything else. He's the king of fucking pop. He should at least be in the top 5. Definitely above Madonna. Number 9, Whitney Houston. One of the purest voices ever. Truly astounding. Not a huge fan of her writing. Number 10, Rihanna. Talked about her in the last video. Number 11, the Rolling Stones. I'm kind of shocked they're not in the top 10. I would put them on par with the Beatles. I don't really like them, but I acknowledge their influence in music and also the fact that they're actually decent writers. Number 12, Paul McCartney. My favorite Beatle. Living proof that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Number 13, the Bee Gees. I am not a fan. Their voices annoy the piss out of me. I acknowledge their talent, but I'm not going to say I like them. I'll have fun to staying alive. That's about it. Number 14, Usher, addressed in the last video. Number 15, Chicago. I am damn happy and a little surprised to see them on this list, especially this high up. I absolutely love these guys. They did R&B, pop, rock, fusion right. They're all astounding musicians, and I think this is something that pop needs to start striving for again. Number 16, the Supremes. They're classic. I definitely have a soft spot for them in my heart. A little surprised they're at 16. That seems pretty high. Number 17, Prince. I didn't used to think so, but then I got to do a little more research on Prince. I believe he was actually a genius. I never liked his music, to be honest. I don't hate it. It does nothing for me. To me, having listened to the stuff that I've listened to through my own lens, it doesn't seem like that revolutionary. Of course, I don't know what was happening in the context of the time, so I might be missing that. I can tell you he was an awesome multi-instrumentalist. He could play a lot of instruments very well. Number 18, Hall & Oates. I am shocked they're this high on this list. Very happy to see them here. I love a lot of their work. They typically have some really good melodies and rhythm. Number 19, Rod Stewart. He's more meme now than man. Rod Stewart was a meme before the internet was a thing. I do not like his songs or his voice. I'll definitely say he has a very unique voice. I'm not gonna say it's crap. I'm just saying I don't like it. Number 20, Olivia Newton-John. I know literally zero of her songs offhand besides anything she did in Grease. Has an amazing voice though. Number 21, Drake. I hate his music. I understand why he's here. He did change the rap game in a very significant way. He changed the messaging for the better, I would say, and the music a lot for the worse, if I may say so. Number 22, Aretha Franklin. Absolutely love that lady's voice. Great songs. God rest her soul. Number 23, Marvin Gaye. His stuff is very hit or miss for me. I'll either love some of his stuff or just be really bored with other ones. I will say he is a great writer. He was widely influential. I wouldn't even mind seeing him higher on the list. Number 24, Taylor Swift. I talked about her in the last video. I get why she's on this list. I'd say 24. That seems fair. Number 25, Katy Perry. No. I addressed her in my last video as well. Number 26, Phil Collins, the destroyer of Genesis. It's a joke, relax. His voice and his writing is very much hit or miss for me. There are songs of his that I absolutely love, and there are other songs I actually despise. Number 27, Billy Joel. He is most likely my personal favorite on this entire list. I think he should be much higher on that list, like top 20. I absolutely love that man's writing. 28, Diana Ross. Great voice, decent songwriter. Her shit's just way too mushy for me. Number 29, The Four Seasons. Of course, The Four Seasons. These guys are so classic. Love these guys. Great voices, great harmonies. Number 30, The Temptations. Again, classic. I like some of their songs. I also understand why they're on this list. I wouldn't say I'm in love with them, but I got some soft spot. Number 31, Donna Summers. I've literally never heard of this lady before. Number 32, The Beach Boys. Totally should be on this list. I like a lot of their work, and I will be the first to admit that it definitely feels machine-made, well, with the exception of Pet Sounds. Am I biased? Abso-fucking-lutely. I think all of us grew up on this stuff, and that's why the Beach Boys are in all of our hearts. Even if we can acknowledge that, you know, when they wrote the beach songs, the hit songs back in the day, I mean, a lot of them sounded way too similar to one another, very stupid and simple, but fuck it, they're fun. You're a kid. Have fun with it. Number 33, Lionel Richie. He has a good voice, he's a good writer. His stuff is totally not my thing. I don't understand why he's so popular, but I think that's just a segment that I missed out on. Number 34, Bruno Mars. I addressed him in my last video. I am actually surprised he's already on this list at 34. Not to say that he doesn't deserve a spot on this list eventually. Maybe I'm missing some of his catalog, but I think that he needs one more fucking slamming record, which I'm sure he can throw out before I would expect to see him on this list. But I'm not complaining. Number 35, Neil Diamond. Great writer. I do not care for a lot of his songs. Number 36, The Carpenters. Fucking snore. Number 37, Maroon 5. That was in my last video. Number 38, Boyz II Men. Also in the last video. I am shocked they are on this list. Number 39, The Jacksons. And Boyz II Men is above The Jacksons. Jacksons are and were insanely talented. Awesome songs and truly tragic story. Number 40, Connie Francis. Now, I had never heard this name before. I didn't realize this. Apparently, she's some country singer from back in the 50s. So I called my folks to ask about it, and when I mentioned her name, I literally saw their faces light up through the phone. Number 41, Beyonce. Talked about her in my last video. I'm shocked she's not higher on the list. There's a number of people that are above her that I'm like, Number 42, Brenda Lee. The only thing I know of hers is Rocking Around the Christmas Tree. That's it. Number 43, Kenny Rogers. Did not expect him here. He's okay. Didn't think he was that great, to be honest, but fuck if I know. Number 44, Barbra Streisand. Seriously. She has a great voice. She's fucking nuts. I don't remember ever having listened to any of her songs on the radio growing up or modern time. I have no clue how the fuck she's on this list. Number 45, Bryan Adams. His stuff is cheesy as fuck, but I absolutely have a soft spot for some of his songs. He is a really good writer. Number 46, Cher. She's a fucking weirdo. I get why she's on this list. She has a great voice, and she's been pretty influential in the industry. Number 47, George Michael. I only know of Careless Whisper by him. That is it. I've never heard any other George Michael songs before. I'd listened to a handful of them just to see if I had heard any of the other ones, his hits. I've never listened to any of them before. It all feels really fucking bland to me. The best thing he's ever done is that sax part in Careless Whisper. Number 48, Black Eyed Peas. Fuck no. I talked about them in my last video. Number 49, Pink. Again, kind of shocked she's on this list. Talked about her in my last video. Number 50, Bobby Vinton. Very similarly to Connie Francis, he was a guy in the 50s and 60s who did a lot of country singer-songwriter stuff. My folks were in love with him though, and that's the only way that I knew about him. That is it for this list. I will say, comparing the two lists, this is way the fuck better. This makes a lot more sense. I still have some contentions with it, but not nearly as many pure objections and not nearly as many names missing from the list where I was like, what the fuck is this? I have no idea what the criteria was for that other list. I have no clue. Still can't figure it out. And not only that, but it was like rapid, like I'd gone back and checked it multiple times afterwards to explain this to some of my friends. It was like completely different. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the top 50 pop artists ever. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you like videos like these, if you like what I do on this channel, please support me on Patreon. This is my full-time job, and the only way I can keep making videos and keep this my job is through your patronage. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Become the Night. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next video. Rock on!